All right, Mono Sanbonani, hello, how's it? Welcome to another episode of the Big Daddy Liberty Show. It's been a while since we've done any content on the show. Glad to be back on your screens. You're probably wondering, what am I doing in Cape Town, right? We're standing at the moment at the front sort of stairs, the famous stairs at UCT, that's the University of Cape Town in Cape Town, South Africa. Why are we here? And why are we in Cape Town generally? I want to talk to you, the ordinary South African, about a burning issue right now, which is dribbling and distracting everybody. The issue, of course, being the ongoing conflict between Israel and various radical jihadi groups in that part of the world that Israel is trying to absolutely destroy. I'm talking, of course, about the likes of Hamas, indeed the Palestinian Islamic Jihad, and various other radical Islamic groupings such as Hezbollah. These groupings in that part of the world which have stated openly that their intent, their very goal, their very existence is to see the overall destruction of the state of Israel and the murder, the genocide of Jews. Those organizations are seemingly finding roots, even a comfortable home, with the pro-Palestine lobby in this country. You remember, of course, those scenes of a mob, an intimidating mob, descending on a small group of Christians who are trying to pray in Sea Point, surrounded by the pro-Palestine mob, who then waved, who proceeded to wave, can you imagine that? The flags of those very same terrorist organizations that I mentioned. So we're going to have that conversation, therefore, here in Cape Town, the epicenter of seemingly ISIS and Hamas support, and ask ordinary Cape Townians, do they think the actions and the words and the intentions of those various organizations are evil or not? That is the conversation that we're going to have here in Cape Town. Indeed, it's exactly why we began this episode here on UCT, the very place where students on this campus had invited the likes of Hamas, a terrorist organization, to this campus, believe it or not. The same campus that protested and loudly voiced their disgruntlement at the invitation of a certain speaker who was anti-LGBTQ. Ironically, those same students who protested that then allowed Hamas, indeed invited Hamas onto this campus. And one has to ask the question, do they really know what Hamas thinks about the LGBTQ lobby, and why invite them, for example, here? These and more issues that we're going to unpack as we ask the question of ordinary Cape Townians: are these organizations, are their words and intent, their deeds, evil or not? Welcome to it. This is another episode of the Big Daddy Liberty Show. We're playing a little game, if I can call it that, of is this statement evil or not evil? You listen to this, you let me know. Oh Allah, grant victory to the fighters in Palestine, guide their strikes to the throats of Jews, make their legs steady, and let them stab a knife through the hearts of the Jews. This is a statement by Usaleh Al-Raqqa, a professor of religion at Gaza's Islamic University. What do you think, man? Evil or not evil?
Stuff that's getting guided through throats and stuff, that's evil. That's evil. Yeah, that's evil.
Ladies, evil or not evil?
I would say I'm sure its intention isn't evil, but if you take the words just at face value, it kind of doesn't sound the best. So, yeah.
Yeah, especially the stabbing in the heart seems very violent.
I think if he's saying that in the way that Hamas is saying their mission statements, it's evil. Hamas doesn't want Israel to exist, and I think that's quite evil. Yeah.
Sister?
I think that the Palestinians defending themselves is not evil, but in the way that he made his statement, he's not encouraging defense, but rather he is encouraging and perpetuating violence. And there's a very big difference between telling people to defend their land and defend their people versus telling them to commit acts of brutality. That was a very brutal and graphic statement, so I think that's evil.
Evil or not evil?
It's evil. It's evil.
What do you think? Evil or not evil?
I'm taking it as a statement that is basically inciting violence. Me personally, I'd like to say that it's somewhat evil, but then again, I might be lacking in terms of the religious knowledge. But me personally, that seems a bit too violent, a bit too, so yeah, evil.
Evil or not evil?
Well, I would say it's evil, in a way that, well, you can resolve an issue without having to fight or kill somebody or slaughter people. So in that way, I find it very evil.
Well, 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 it seems the students of the University of Cape Town, when presented with who and what Hamas really are and say, realize that that is an evil organization. This really exposes the power of a lie and propaganda. Now, the pro-Palestine propaganda in South Africa is really loud and is mainly driven by a toxic coalition of political elites, the mainstream media, and faux intelligentsia. The aim of the lie and the propaganda by the Palestine lobby is to lie, of course, and try and fool average South Africans into thinking the likes of Hamas are, quote, freedom fighters, similar in the vein of Nelson Mandela or Helen Suzman. This, of course, is not true. Hamas are a fanatical religious terrorist organization, and their goal isn't the freedom of Palestinians, but rather the genocide of Jews, the destruction of Israel, and the establishment of an Islamic caliphate. This is what is meant by their death chant of quotes from the river to the sea. But again, let me put the words of Hamas and other radical Islamic terrorist groups who have stated their genocidal intent directly to ordinary residents on the streets of Cape Town and see what they think. If we searched the entire world for a person more cowardly, despicable, weak, and feeble in psyche, mind, ideology, and religion, we would not find anyone like the Jew. Notice I do not say the Israeli, but the Jew. Evil or not evil?
Evil.
All right, ladies, evil or not evil? Okay, so here we go. Oh Allah, grant victory to the fighters in Palestine, guide their strikes to the throats of Jews, make their legs steady, and let them stab a knife through the heart of the Jews. This is a statement by a man named Saleh Al-Rakab, a professor of religion at Gaza's Islamic University. Evil or not evil?
Evil! It is evil.
Is that evil or not evil?
That's not evil.
Not evil? Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's evil. I think my understanding is a scripture, right?
No, it's him speaking, so like just speaking to the media or whatever.
It can be dangerous.
Mhm.
Also, it's not. It depends how you take it. If you take it literally,
Okay.
because if you take it literally, no one wants to be guided to cut people's throats.
I think he means it quite literally, but I'll come back to you in a moment. Let me make a quick example and then you tell me, right? There's one example. If someone had said, let's say South Africa was tense,
Yes.
and someone had said, oh God, strengthen the will of the Zulus to strike and stab at the hearts of Xhosa people and to cut the throats of Xhosa people,
No, it sounds
would that
different
be?
now.
But it's exactly the same statement.
You see, oh yeah, I do understand now. I do. It sounds very, very, very evil. It's very evil because that's why I said, because I didn't understand. Maybe it's novel vibes, professor vibes, storytelling vibes. But unfortunately, if you're saying it's someone saying guide,
Statement.
no, that's evil.
Fellas, evil or not?
Not evil.
Not evil? Sir?
Yes.
Why?
Why? Because you see what Israel do from 76 years. So how do you subscribe that and subscribe this evil?
But one more question. I'm going to push you a little bit just for the sake of the conversation. But he's talking about Jews, and I'm very careful about that because some people do say, hey, I have a problem with Israel, but not a problem with Jews. But he's saying, hey, man, destroying Israel is about destroying the Jews. What if I said, let's say I had a problem with Iran, and I said, I need to kill the Muslims over there. Would that be not evil?
No. Maybe that the who would write this letter, yeah, maybe it doesn't know what the mean of real mean of what Quran said. So you should read Quran before, and you should, and also you will know what that mean.
Okay, but on that point, let me quickly say this. Sorry, because I think you raised an important point. This is from the Hamas Charter, and it quotes.
Okay, we don't
And I know.
support Hamas.
Sorry.
We don't support Hamas.
Thank you for saying that, but also I need people to hear this because Hamas will use religion. They'll use Islam, as you're saying,
Okay,
in order to make a point.
KKK support Christian. So you say KKK group, it's good or not?
Well, it's definitely not good. So let me ask you.
Like us, we said Daesh not good, Hamas not good. We're not with Hamas.
Dude, thank you for your time. I took more than 30 seconds. I'm sorry about that. But thank you for your time, gents. This is from the constitution of a certain organization. So here. The day of judgment will not come about until Muslims fight Jews and kill them. Then the Jews will hide behind rocks and trees, and the rocks and trees will cry out, "O Muslim, there is a Jew hiding behind me. Come and kill him." Is that evil or not?
That's evil.
Is that evil or not?
That's evil.
Right, so what we do is I'm going to read a statement. Okay, no problem, brother. What language do you speak?
Arabic.
Are you Arabic? Where are you from?
Saudi Arabia.
Are you from Saudi Arabia? Can I ask you a question? Your crown prince at the moment, Mohammed bin Salman, he's been very vocal at the moment. He said, hey man, you know what? We actually need to be, there must be peace in that part of the world. Yes. But he's also not a fan. He doesn't like Hamas. What do you think about that?
We support Palestine to be country like Israel. We not support Hamas, or we support the people, make country.
Evil or not evil?
All I want to say is in order for human beings to not go extinct, hate needs to stop. Okay, it's actually about our extinction. Okay, we are evolved. We are supposed to be the most evolved species on the planet.
This is humans you're talking about, sorry.
Beings. Yeah. So I'm wondering, why are we still here? Why are we still going for World War III in 2023, where we've learned from the atrocities of the past? We've seen, I was just watching Schindler's List. I'm not going to go, I'm not pro any religion because I am neutral, but it's all about human beings and it's about love. When is our prefrontal cortex going to evolve to the point where we know that killing another person is not the solution? Collaboration, communication, empathy. Empathy, and if you ask people what is empathy, like if I ask you what is empathy, what's the definition of empathy for you? Can you go?
Okay, so empathy for me would be a keen and acute understanding of the other's position in order to understand where they're coming from.
Magnifique. So it's literally me, you putting on my shoesies and me putting on your shoesies. That is essentially empathy. We need more of that.
So we're at the end of the day, and you got to hear from Cape Townians when I put the statement to them, right? I said, we'll play that game of, is this evil or not? And some interesting mixed responses to that. But the overwhelming responses, of course, were people who rightly pointed out that some of the inflammatory statements that are made by the pro-Palestine, pro-Hamas lobby here and other parts of the world are absolutely incendiary, and that actually, when you put the statements of Hamas to people, for example, such as that Article 7 from their charter that I read in some instances to people, or those senior leaders in Hamas, such as the professor that we were quoting to people. When we put these statements that are often made by the pro-Palestine lobby and the Hamas sympathizers, those who sympathize with terrorist organizations, when you actually put those statements to ordinary people, they are quick to point out that that is evil, and it's exactly what it is. Again, I'll let you be the judge. Please watch this content. And of course, all the statements that I made, we've put up on screen, and the links, or rather the references to them, we've put up so that you can also read exactly what it's all about, especially that Hamas charter. This is what the pro-Palestine lobby in this country is supporting. And it's ironic. The very place that I'm standing right now were scenes of some of the most thuggish behavior by the pro-Palestine lobby. You remember, of course, those scenes of a small group of Christian individuals who are looking to pray for peace in that part of the world, to pray for hashtag bring them home, a message which is resonating around the world, demanding that the terrorist jihadis Hamas return the hostages that they took from their attack on October 7. Ordinary Christian South Africans praying for that, then intimidated by a mob of the pro-Palestine lobby who were doing what? They were putting up signs in support of Hamas, waving flags of terrorist organizations like Hezbollah, and indeed even waving that ominous black flag from the murderous terrorists ISIS. So that then you heard it from ordinary South Africans what they think of those terrorist organizations, where most South Africans are calling them rightly evil. So the question then remains, how is it possible that this country allows organizations like Hamas and Hezbollah and other jihadi terrorist organizations to plant their flag on this soil? How is that even vaguely possible? This is the question I think all those who support these organizations should be asking themselves. The likes of the ANC, which right now are calling Hamas their best buddies, that somehow Hamas is like the ANC of Madiba. Bull, absolute nonsense. Or EFF, idiot-in-chief, A1 Julius Malema.
The EFF, when it takes over next year, is going to arm Hamas and make sure Hamas has got the necessary equipment to fight for their freedom.
And the various mainstream media in this country who make the argument that just because they're the loudest voice in the room, that somehow they're the most popular voice in the room. They simply are not. Why? Because when the ideas and the intents and the motives of those various organizations are put to ordinary South Africans, you heard it from their mouth today, they are evil. Well, we'll be taking this question to cities like Durban and Johannesburg. So look out for the Big Daddy Liberty Show. We are back on your screens, back with very interesting content. But you let me know in the comment sections what you thought about this. I know what's going to happen there. It's going to be the most polarized space ever, but I don't care. I welcome free speech. I welcome free engagement. Share your thoughts about this particular episode, and maybe you yourself answer the question, are those statements that you heard me read today, and others which I'll share, evil or not? With that being said, thank you so much for watching this episode of the Big Daddy Liberty Show. Guys, I really appreciate your loyalty and support on the channel. Do me a favor, as I always say at the end of any show, outside of Never Trust a Commie, I'd really encourage you to please share this content. Hit the like button and share this content, whether you're watching it on Facebook, YouTube, or on Twitter. We have some exciting stuff coming, but I won't share those details anytime soon. Just prepare yourself for bigger and better things. With that being said, thanks for watching. I'll see you on another episode of the Big Daddy Liberty Show.